in this edition of RPP News. A win for Ryman, the NPNFL shuts its stores, and Frankston finds a little possum magic. Hello, I'm Katie Sharp. Welcome to the latest edition of RPP News, bringing you stories from across Frankston and the Mornington Peninsula. Frankston detectives have arrested a man after 4 people were allegedly assaulted in Frankston South on Wednesday. Investigators have been told a man armed with a hockey stick assaulted a man in Casuarina Drive at around midday and then assaulted 3 women walking by Saltwater Creek Reserve. A 38-year-old man from Frankston was arrested and is currently assisting police with their inquiries. Police are also investigating the circumstances surrounding a fatal house fire in Langwarrin on Thursday morning. Emergency services were called to a property on North Road at around 6:20 a.m. One person died in the fire and a dog found uninjured was taken into care. Detectives are working to establish the exact circumstances surrounding the fire. Anyone who witnessed the incident or with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. Mount Eliza residents and the Mornington Peninsula Shire Council have lost the planning battle at Cunyong Road in Mount Eliza. The old Ansett property has been the centre of a dispute with New Zealand developers Ryman. Last week, the Minister for Planning, Sonia Kilkenny, chose not to rezone the Ryman healthcare site to a green wedge zone. This decision removes a major barrier to the planning permit for the retirement village and aged care facility recently approved by VCAT. Shire Mayor Councillor Steve Holland expressed his disappointment at this week's council meeting.
It is disappointing. There were many people that were expecting that decision though. It went obviously to a planning panel who reviewed it, and there were some recommendations not to proceed with that case given the ongoing VCAT challenge, which is now resolved at the Ryman site in particular. But look, Council resolved to proceed and that's what happened, and we were hoping that the Minister would authorise the entire amendment, but it's not the case in this instance. But it is one site of many across the peninsula, and it's important that the good news in the approval of the remaining sites is not lost with the bad news in that instance.
The Healthy Futures Hub at Belvedere Reserve in Seaford has opened. The facility brings together 12 organisations to create a one-stop shop for Frankston City residents. It offers community sport, physiotherapy, dentistry, occupational therapy, personal training and NDIS providers, along with recreational and cafe spaces. The hub was developed with the assistance of Monash University School of Primary and Allied Healthcare. The NPNFL has rejected a bid by 6 clubs to join the local football competition. A meeting of club presidents turned down the applicants, and with it the possibility of a 3-division competition. Cranbourne, Carrum, Patterson Lakes, Frankston Dolphins, Narre Warren, South Mornington and Pakenham all left the meeting disappointed. Chairman of the NPNFL board, Graham Sherry, told RPP Radio News he understands their frustration, but says the board will reconsider applications, especially from geographically closer clubs, for season 2023.
Change is not easy in this field. The issue I guess we have with the running of our league is that the presidents are all single-mindedly supporting their own clubs, and they have entrenched views which are undoubtedly biased towards their own clubs. There's no question about that, and that's the beauty of the competition in many ways. But in the longer term, we need to put behind these parochial single-minded interests and I agree we need to look in the longer-term best interests of the whole competition, not just individual clubs. And I'm sure the clubs will come around to that, but they just need a little bit of time.
And Monkey Bar is bringing its award-winning stage adaptation of Mem Fox's Possum Magic back to the Frankston Arts Centre. The beloved Australian picture book is celebrating its 40th birthday. Using a combination of live-action stage magic, puppetry and projected animation, Possum Magic will take you on a whimsical journey to cities around Australia. There will be 2 performances on Friday the 8th of September. The 11 a.m. performance will be Auslan interpreted for patrons who are deaf or hard of hearing. Tickets are available at the FAC box office and website. After the break, Bianca will be back with the coming week's weather report.
Battery World now open in Mornington.
We know batteries. We know our 75 D23Ls from our DIN 65 LHs. And we know which is best for you. We have the range and a spark no one else can match, because we live and breathe batteries. Those beautiful boxes and cylinders that power our lives and our passions. That's why we're the Batteryologists. We're Battery World.
Battery World Shop 1, 43 Mornington Tyre Road, Mornington.
With interest rates on the rise, there's never been a better time to review your home loan. And there's never been a better bank to help you. Whether you're a new or existing Bendigo Bank customer, book an appointment for a home loan health check today.
Established in 1988, Progress Signs has been servicing the local community for 30 years. Located on the Mornington Peninsula, they are the #1 destination for all your signage needs, specialising in a variety of signage from vehicles to shop fronts, occasional and corporate events, short-term, long-term and everything in between. If it's signs you need, be it large or small, Progress Signs is the place to call. Available 24/7 at progress-signs.com.au or call the team on 5975 9188. Thinking signs? Think Progress Signs, a station sponsor.
Welcome back. We go now to Bianca for this week's weather.
Hello, I'm Bianca and welcome to this week's RPP weather update. Well, after being led to believe that we would see a lot of rain this week just past, the rain actually stayed away and we had some wonderful sunny afternoons. Let's take a deep dive into the coming week to see if the early spring sun will stay with us. Today, Sunday the 27th of August, should bring us a semi-cloudy day with no rain. We are looking at a low of 7 and a high of 15. Monday sees the sun return with some cloud cover. We should feel a low of 8 and a high of 16. Tuesday promises to be an amazing day with a low of 7 and a high of 20. Wednesday sees us returning to light rain with a low of 11 and a high of 18. Thursday sees this trend continue with some sun and a partially wet cloudy day. We should see a low of 8 and a high of 16. Friday brings heavy cloud cover and rain. We will feel a low of 9 and a high of 15. And finally, Saturday brings back the sun with a low of 7 and a high of 16. Well, that's all for this week. Try to enjoy the sun and I will see you again next week for another RPP weather update.
And now to our surf guru Muzz for the Surf Report.
Hey, it's Mars back with this week's Mornington Peninsula Surf Report. What a great week to have been a surfer on the peninsula. I think anywhere in Victoria, sort of from through the west coast right through to Phillip Island. Although yesterday there was a few island guys lurking around over our side because the swell's a little big in the morning. Yeah, definitely Wednesday night, swell was as good as it gets into yesterday. Has faded out today, but conditions are still okay. There is a front due later on this afternoon, this evening, which will turn the wind around that little bit to the round to the south-southwest, and that's going to sit in that pattern for a couple of days. So the weekend looks like being south-southeast. A little bit of swell still around, but conditions will be pretty average except for a couple of those protected breaks a little bit further to the west if you want to move them out, or head around a bit further to the east, so there might be some waves over the other side. But the week coming looks like maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, we might even finally get some beach break conditions, although due to the continually big swell, the banks haven't been great or aren't great. So, but we'll see how that pans out. But looks like definitely the spring is on its way. So once we start getting winds going around the south-southeast, but what a great winter. Probably the best in sort of, I don't know, maybe the last 20, 30 years, who knows? Who knows? You know, there's been waves, and more waves. So, and the crowds have been pretty good lately, but that'll change because local footy's coming to an end, so there'll be a few more crew lurking. But the week in front of us, you know, not the best week we've had, but there'll still be waves, probably, as I said, Tuesday, Wednesday into Thursday. A bit of a push into swell again next week, and the long ranges maybe another front with the wind going a bit more northwest again. But at the moment, yeah, the choice days are what's left of it today on Friday, and then it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday next week. All right, hopefully you have a good week, and I'll see you next week.
And that's all from our team here at RPP News, serving the community with stories that matter to you. Keep watching and do tell your friends. Bring you the news from coast to coast across Frankston and the Mornington Peninsula. I'm Katie Sharp. See you for the next edition.